Good evening to you once again. Welcome to our group session. This is what we do on Friday nights. Music Lovers LTD with yours truly, the King of Oldies. And of course, my panel of wonderful people who know everything about everything. I'm lying. We don't know everything about everything. That's why we have this honored guest. We have one of the legendary Payne sisters. And you say, what Payne? I know that name. Well, yes, you do. This one is Miss Scherrie Payne. Scherrie Payne was one of the Supremes, and we're going to talk to her about her time in life with the Supremes, her time in life with Glass House, which is the group she was with, and her time in life with her sister, Freda Payne. So if you would, everybody give Miss Scherrie Payne a nice round of applause, and we would like to welcome you. Scherrie, good evening to you. How are you, my dear? How you doing?
I'm doing just great. Thank you. I'm still here. Praise the Lord.
All right, yes, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. Let's jump right on into it because this hour is going to go very, very quickly. Tell us, if you would. My first question is,
Okay.
Are you like most artists who came out of the church and started singing? Tell us how you got into this career.
I never sang in church, neither did Freda. Actually, I sang throughout. My mother said I was singing before I could talk in the crib or whatever. But in junior high school, I sang just for fun. In high school, I sang in the choir in another group called the Troubadours, which was formed by Ollie McFarlane, our music teacher. And I was an original member of 9 people. And Shirley Jones from the Jones Girls came after me, after our grouping. And I graduated from Central in 61. Then I went to Michigan State. And there I sang on and off campus at different functions with a jazz trio called the Lewis Helfrich Trio, I think. But I never thought about singing professionally. So I graduated in 66. I got my Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology. And when I got home, my mother said, I didn't want to be a med tech. And I knew I had to do a year internship in a hospital, but I didn't want to be a medical technologist. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So, but my mother said, well, you can't sit around here. After I paid all that money for you to go to college, I paid $1,200 a year for you to go to college.
$1,200. Sounds familiar.
That
what your mom
like
said sounds very, very. Yeah, I was going to say what your mom said to you sounds very familiar. you can't sit around here.
Teaching school, substitute teaching. You can't sit around here, yeah.
Right,
so I started teaching school and taking a couple of classes at Wayne State University. But then one day Freda had come home and she had just signed with Invictus Records, Holland Dozier Holland. And she knew them all because they had gone to school together, Hutchins, junior high school, along with Aretha. And I think Duke and Otis Williams went there too. But anyway, so she ran into Brian Holland in New York, and he told her about they had left Motown, had formed their new company. So she signed with them. So when she got home, she was on the phone talking to Eddie Holland. And so I started writing songs on my own just for fun. And so I knew she was talking to Eddie. So I went to the piano in the living room and I started playing as loudly as I could. Everybody should know a little pain. I had written that song for Gladys Knight and the Pips, as if. But anyway, Freda said, Sherry, Eddie wants to talk to you. So I went to the phone and he said, what was that you were playing? I said, oh, just a little tune I wrote. He said, do you have any more? I said, oh, I have lots more. He said, would you like to audition for a company, Invictus? I said, well, I don't care. So they sent a car around Dunbar, picked me up, took me to Lamont Dozier's house in Palmer Woods, same area place where Duke lived. And I played and sang about 4 songs for them. Edward and Brian were there, McKinley Jackson, I think Jeffrey Bowen. And so they said, that's enough. We want to sign you. I said, oh. They said, well, we don't need another lead singer because we already have your sister. Then we have the Honeycomb, somebody else they named. So we'd like to put you in a group, and it would be with Tyrone Hunter Jr., who had a huge hit, Darling, Darling, Darling. I love Ty's voice, best tenor voice in the world. But anyway, so they formed the Glass House around me and Ty, and one of the other girl was going to be 2 guys, 2 girls. And the other girl only stayed about 4 months. And that was Gloria Hendry, who had come from New York. And then we just started choreography with Charlie Atkins, Mom's Mabley's son, Charlie Atkins. And so Gloria only stayed about 4 months, and then she wasn't really happy. It wasn't really what she wanted to do, and because God was leading her, because she went back to New York, Playboy Bunny, and then after that, that's when she was doing her acting, became a James Bond girl, and the rest is
Okay.
history. Glory Henry, and
Okay.
she's my dear friend to this day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. You know what? It's just amazing how things just branch off and go this way and go that way. And I'm telling you, it's just really amazing. It truly, truly is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said off
Mm-hmm.
mic, off camera, you and your sister have just tremendous careers. Absolutely tremendous
Oh,
careers. And it
thank
truly, truly,
you.
truly is a blessing. Now let me back
Thank
out
you.
here and go around the horn. We're gonna start out with Kevin. Kev, well, yeah, there you are. Kev, go ahead, bro.
Hey, good evening, Ms. Payne. Thank you for joining us this evening on our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But before I get started,
Thank you. Just call me Scherrie.
okay. But before I get started with my first question,
Yeah.
excuse my French, but damn you fine.
You should have seen me an hour ago. Thank you. Thank you.
You might get a proposal.
Sometimes,
You might get
Kevin,
a proposal before we leave out here tonight. Who knows?
sometimes, guys, the lady, sometimes I look in the mirror and I think, dang, Scherrie, you look so old. And I think, well, you are old. I'll be 80 in November. Dang.
Oh man.
1944.
All right, that's a blessing.
My
All
question,
right.
my question to you is, when you join the Supremes, I understand y'all had to change the name because there was some kind of dispute about using the name Supremes. Who caused that problem? Barry Gordy or Diana Ross?
No, it wasn't Diana, because when I toured with Diana in 2000 and she had to use the name Supremes, she had to pay for it. She had to lease the name The Supremes. So it was when we joined the Supremes, we could say the Supremes back because I joined in 73 and I replaced Jean Terrell. And we could say the Supremes. It was no problem then. It was after when the group sort of disbanded, when Mary decided to go solo in July of 77. And then they didn't want anybody. And they were going to continue the group. They were going to continue the group, the Supremes, with me and Susie Green. And we were going to choose another girl, a third girl. And I told Susie Green about Joyce Vincent, my dear friend from Detroit, who she and her sister Pam Vincent had sung it and done background for many artists, along with Thelma Hopkins. And then Joyce and Thelma left Invictus one day because they said, we'll be on the road. We're singing with this guy. And we won't be gone long. And that was Tony Orlando and Dawn. They had no idea that group was going to take off, be a number one, have number one hits all over the world. But anyway,
Right.
I told Susie about Joyce, my dear friend Joyce Vincent. So we had lunch with Joyce, and Susie loved her. And so we decided we want Joyce as the third member. And then when we told Suzanne to pass in Motown, an edict came down from somebody up high who said, since there's no original member in the group, we cannot use the Supremes. There will not be any Supremes. They're going to retire the name. So
Okay.
that's when the idea came up that Suzanne said, well, Susie and I will just be a duo. And then Susie came up with the name Partners for the album that we did.
Okay.
So, and
Okay.
Gene McDaniels was the executive producer.
Okay. Okay. Good question, Kev. Good
Yeah.
question. Now, if I could just piggyback on that, just in your opinion, do you think that was a good move as far as canceling out the name, not being able to take it further, or do you think it was a not too good move?
I think it was a not too good move. I don't know why we couldn't have just continued as the Supremes.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mary couldn't even use it.
Oh,
She
really?
had to say, no, she couldn't use it. I think they finally made an agreement that if the name were ever to be sold, then she would get a percentage. She, along with Mary, would get a percentage
Wow.
if
It's
they sold
amazing
the
how
name. But she
that
couldn't
legal
even
stuff
use the
works.
name.
It's amazing how that legal stuff works. It
Legalisms,
really is.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, I'm coming at
So
you,
she had to
brother.
say
Let me
the
find.
Supremes, Mary Wilson, or whatever.
Right. I got you. Well, yeah, Mar, here you are. Go ahead, Mar.
My question is, in your travels, in your early days, did you ever see anything which gave you second?
Lamar, for some reason, you're fading in and out when you talk. You're getting a
Right.
little bit and then you're fading out. Can you go out and come back in again, Lamar, please? I guess he can hear me. He's frozen. I don't know what's
Looks like
going
he's
on there.
frozen.
My question was,
Okay, go ahead,
in your
Mark.
travel, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
In your early days, in your travelings to different cities, did you ever see anything that kind of gave you second thoughts about singing and traveling?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. Not that I can recall. I mean, we were traveling all the time. So a lot of times I was just tired. But I was just so thrilled to, here's a little girl from Detroit who had never been out of the country other than Puerto Rico when I would travel with Mama. And when Freda was working in Puerto Rico, we went with her. So I had never really been anywhere. And so here I was traveling all over the world, places I had only read about or seen on TV.
Okay.
So I really didn't have any misgivings. I was just happy to be out there.
Good question, Lamar. Good question. That's a great answer because, and we may circle back around to that a little bit later when they ask, maybe Drew or the professor may ask, somebody's going to ask you, where was your favorite place to work? And excuse me, being in this business, as you know, there's always upsides and downsides. We're not going to tackle that right now, but I'm just throwing that at you, get you to thinking about it. Good question, okay. Lamar. We're going to move off Lamar and go up to the young lady that has joined us now. Let's go to the professor. Hold on, professor. 1 second. Let me get you in the chat. Go ahead there. Go ahead, babe.
Good evening, Scherrie. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to meet you. Happy to be here. I used to have you guys. I used to be a big fan of Right On Magazine. And you guys were in there, and I had everybody's poster all over the room, and I had so many posters on the wall that I think if my room had caught on fire, the whole house just would have disintegrated. What made you decide to pursue a career in entertainment?
Well, it wasn't something I had planned.
Like I said.
Oh, I'm hearing an echo.
I got it.
It just fell in my lap. It just came to me, and I just went with it. I didn't resist it. Even with joining the Supremes, that was something that just fell in my lap through the auspices of Lamont Dozier. And but I never planned to be an entertainer. There were times when I would go down in our recreation room because my biggest idols were Billie Holiday and Gloria Lynn. And I would go down in our recreation room, and I had 3-color pole lamp, and I would put on the pole lamp, and I go to the record player, put on an album, say like Billie Holiday, and I put it on me, and I'd act like, you've changed. That sparkle in your eye, dear, is gone. Your smile is just a careless yawn. You're breaking my heart. You've changed. And I would just be singing my heart out. I became Billie Holiday, and I was singing to the top of my voice. And then my mother would open up the door and say, "Turn that music down."
That's funny. That's funny. Well, listen, Scherrie, you've given us that little performance, so I want to say thank you so much. Good night, everybody. I've had enough. See you later. Okay. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. And I'm so happy to hear that you mentioned one of my all-time favorite jazz singers. It actually was my dad's. And because of him is how I got to fall in love with the legendary Gloria Lynn. And I happened to have her on one of my shows before she passed away. She was a truly a sweetheart. Yes. Truly a sweetheart. And could sing. Good question there, Professor. Good question. Let's move over to Jay and see what he's got to say. Jay?
Scherrie, thanks for joining us.
Hi,
How you doing?
Glad to be
Thanks for
here.
the little mini
Fine.
concert.
Thank you.
But I'm sure most people can remember. Well, not a lot of people of my age can remember when Diana Ross was on the Ed Sullivan Show and they sang "Someday We'll Be Together." I was a
Oh,
teenager, about
yeah.
16 or 17. You know,
Okay.
I took that literally. So it's been 50 plus years. Is there any possibility that will come to fruition?
Well, we've talked about that because how many of us are there who are still here? Florence Ballard died in February of 1976, and then Mary Wilson died more than 3 years ago. I think it was February the 8th of 2021.
Yeah.
Rest her soul. And Cindy Birdsong has been incapacitated for quite a while now,
Right.
and
Right.
in a facility. And so that just leaves Jean Terrell, Linda Lawrence, Susay Green, myself, and who else is there? Dang. Diana, of course.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it would be wonderful if Diana, Jean, Susay, Linda, and I could get together. That would be just wonderful. There were 8 Supremes. So
That's a good question, Jay. Good question. Good question. That would be a great. I mean, for the fans, if you will, for the fans, I think it would be almost like a reunion type type tour type situation. Yeah, I think it would be good. It would be good. Good question, Jay. We're gonna move over to.
Awesome.
I think so. I think so. Drew, go ahead, bro.
Hey, good evening, Miss Scherrie Payne. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
My first question: was there ever any consideration for having your sister join the Supremes? And if so, or if not, who pushed back on that? Was she ever considered for the Supremes?
Interesting question.
I don't think so. I don't know. I have to ask her, was she ever considered? Because actually, Freda was Berry Gordy's first artist before he even had Motown Records. When she was
really?
I think 14, somewhere around in there. And oh yeah, because our families all went to Bethel AME Church. So my mother knew all his family, and she worked in Mama and Papa Gordy's grocery store as a teenager. And she was 17 and Barry was 9. That's how I could always keep up with his age, because she said, I'm 9 years older than Barry. And so yeah, but I forgot your question. Now you sure that I'm old.
You ever considered?
What was the question, Andrew? Oh, Freda. Yeah.
Yeah, Freda. So, consider Freda.
I don't think so, because when Barry discovered the Supremes or the Primettes, it was just Diana, Florence, and Mary, and I think Barbara Martin. And so they never really thought about Freda being in the Supremes. And she wouldn't have wanted to be in a group. She was a solo singer. Always has been. Always wanted to be.
Okay. Good question, Drew. Good question. Lamar, coming back at you, bro. Hold on one second. Let me find you here. Screen is split up. In the interim, Scherrie, would you share with us, if you can, before I go to Lamar, who did you love to perform on stage with? Meaning that the show had people on it. Who did you love to be? Not that you had like duets or whatever with, but who did you love to perform with? Who was one of your favorites?
Oh, wow. Ugh. I can't really say. Like I said, we did some shows with the Four Tops, even Otis's group, Ollie Woodson. Oh, I loved Ollie Woodson. Oh my goodness, I love performing with him. Yeah, and then Dennis Edwards. We toured a lot with Dennis Edwards' group, and he was fantastic. I'm trying to think who else did we work with from Motown. Oh my goodness.
What about female groups?
Female groups? Oh, let's see. Did we ever work with Martha and the Vandellas? I'm trying to think. I think we did a few shows with them, not many. Maybe the Velvelettes, I think. And
I think them and the Marvelettes were very underrated.
There was somebody else.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I think
indeed.
they were. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Just a general question there. Lamar, coming at you,
Mhm.
bro. What you got? Hold on one second. What you got, Lamar? Lamar, can you unmute? There you go. Go ahead, Mar.
Okay. Um, I did you ever have the opportunity to call someone on stage out of the audience to sing with you?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, a lot. I'm trying to think. Uh, just at I mean, you wouldn't know the people, but at random, I might call somebody up on stage. Trying to think, different maybe mainly overseas, but the audiences overseas are just fantastic, even more so than the United States. They're really diehard fans. But yeah, I used to do that all the time. I loved it. I loved it.
Okay.
And no telling what I might
Okay.
say. I remember one time in Japan, we had this audience, and so many of the men had their heads shaved, and I went up to them. I don't know if it was a club or something, but I said, "What is this? The bald headed convention?" And everybody just busted out laughing. And then I remember another time, I think we were in Japan too, and I was talking, and I said, "Women, you know, you've got to stand up for your man." And two of the ladies stood up. I said, "No, I didn't mean literally
Wow.
stand up." So
Wow.
there's all
Wow.
kinds of funny stories like that.
That's great. That's great. Good question, Mar. Let me jump up here to the professor. Get the ladies involved again.
Two-part question. The first thing I meant to ask you before, when you mentioned Gloria Hendry, is that the same Gloria Hendry that was in the black exploitation movies?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely. Okay. Okay.
My dear friend
To this day. Good. Good. Did you happen to see the episode of Living Single when they parodied the Supremes and they sang Up the Ladder to the Roof?
Not that I
Not that I can recall. Maybe I did, but I can't recall.
Okay. All right. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Hold on, Professor. I
Your
your
mic.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Professor.
Professor. Queen Latifah's character was dreaming that she was the lead singer in a group. It started off with Maxine being the lead, and then Queen Latifah became the lead. Got greedy. It was hilarious. If I find the number to that episode, I'll have Ali send it to you. You should watch it. They Queen Latifah can sing, so I love to see that. But it was funny.
By the way,
We've been told that Queen Latifah
is related to us. Her real name is Dana Owens. And back in Asheville, North Carolina, in fact, we just had a family reunion. The Payne, Owens, and the Logans were related. Everybody's muted. I can't hear anything.
I said I'll call you back and get her number. Maybe I can get her on the show. That would be great.
I've never met her. I'd love to talk with her and let her know she's related to us.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good one there, Professor. Let's move over to Jay. Jay, go ahead, bro.
Scherrie, I heard you mention that you wrote songs. What was your most successful song? And I have another question. You can answer them both if you could. When you joined the Supremes, was there any new material wrote for your group, the Supremes?
Trying to think. We had writers, Frank Wilson. I'm trying to think who else wrote for us. Oh my goodness. I can't remember. In fact, our lieutenant governor here, the first song we released was written by him, and now I can't think of his name nor the song, but it's on the first album that I did with the Supremes. I'm trying to think who else wrote for us. Oh Lord, today my memory has gotten so bad.
Join the club.
I really
Join the club.
can't remember.
Join the club. Join the club. You had a two-part question, Jay. What the first part was? What now?
I was asking Sherrie, what was her most successful song this year?
Song that you wrote.
That I had written. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Well, I guess maybe Crumbs Off the Table, because after Glass House recorded it, Laura Lee recorded it, and I really loved her version better than ours. And then the British singer, oh Lord, she's deceased now. She just died a couple of years ago. What's her? Help me, you all. British singer, white British singer.
British singer that Comes Off the Table.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with Laura Lee. I'm not familiar with a British singer though.
Yeah, British singer. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know who that would be. I'd have to look it up. I don't know who that would be.
And Freda recorded some of my songs. Yeah.
Okay.
Freda recorded some of my songs. Who else? I'm trying to think. Was it the Eighth Day? They were a group on Motown. The Barrino Brothers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember the Barrino Brothers? That's Fantasia is their niece.
Yes, it is. That's her brothers. Yeah.
And LeBron and Fantasia are first cousins. A lot of people don't know that. LeBron James.
Oh really? No, I didn't know that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was in a
One
play
of the Barrino
with.
brothers told me that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in a play with one of her brothers some years ago, and with Jackie Wilson's son. Some years ago, I was in a play with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bobby Wilson. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Dusty Springfield. That's the name I was trying to remember.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Dusty Springfield.
Dusty's not deceased, is she?
Yeah.
Maybe I missed that one. Maybe I'm thinking about somebody. I remember Dusty though. You don't have to say you love me. Just be close at hand. Yeah, I might have missed that one. Oh, that's interesting.
And I wish I had been more aggressive with my songs. I wasn't aggressive like so many people are. I just wasn't. I wished I had been, because I wrote so many songs, and on the I'm trying to think. I wrote 2 musicals, 10 Good Years. In fact, my song "Another Life from Now," which is on the Partners album, that was the catalyst for me writing 10 Good Years, which was just presented here in Hollywood by my dear friend Donald Welch at the Barnsdall Theater in Hollywood. And I think there were 23 songs in 10 Good Years. And the Dream Seekers, I wrote it as a stage play as well as a screenplay, straight screenplay, and a screenplay musical. And that has, I think, 17 songs in it. And so I've written a lot of songs, but I never promoted myself.
Sherrie, if I could just jump in here a second. When you say, I wish I was more aggressive, what do you mean by aggressive? Tell me what that means, if you would.
More to get out there and push myself. So many people are, they really push themselves and promote themselves. I'm not like that. I'm laid back. I need someone to represent me or do it for me. I'm more shy. People don't know that, but I'm really a shy person on the inside. I smile and everything. I'm really shy. I'm not a go-get, pusher. Like even when I joined the Supremes, LaMonta's the one who got me in the Supremes. And when I told my mother, I said, I can't do this. I'm too scared. My mother gave me that big pep talk. And next thing I knew, I was on a plane coming out to Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, thank goodness for
never
Mom.
had a lot of confidence in myself. Yeah, my mother was tough.
We on this side of the fence would certainly say why. That's what, what I mean? We on this side of the fence, we would certainly say why. You sort of remind me, if I could, you're very knowledgeable, what you've said about the businesses, that and the other, but you remind me of a very, very good friend of yours and mine, Miss Jean Corn. You remind me of her a bit. She's soft-spoken. She's very soft-spoken, but she knows what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? She's the type of person don't have to make a lot of hoopla. She just, makes her moves and what have you. And when I talked to her about you, she asked me to please tell you hello for her. Now, she may very well be listening and checking us out. So if there's something you want to say to her, go ahead and say it.
Hey, Jane, I love you, girl. And you're bad yourself. You can sing, girl, still looking good. We're both still here. So if you are on, God bless you. Just keep on doing what you're doing, girl.
She's something. She's something. All right, let's move over.
Yes,
Good,
she is.
good comments there, Jay. I'm going to move to Drew. Drew, go ahead, bro.
Yes, Miss Payne. I want to circle back on your songwriting career. You've been pretty fruitful during your songwriting career. You've wrote screenplays. One of your songs was featured in Dreamgirls. You've had a pretty extensive career behind the scenes as opposed to performing live on stage. Do you find that aspect more lucrative for you as far as remaining relevant in the business?
Good question, Drew.
I wish it was more lucrative. Now I could use some royalties, a few checks. But anyway, no. That pandemic did a lot of damage. I'm telling you.
It did.
I've written
Yes, it
20
did.
screenplays. 20
Oh,
screenplays.
wow.
And I think four stage plays. 3 have been presented here in Los Angeles. In fact, in 2018, in August, A Lady in Waiting, which a 5-character play with it's about a woman on trial for murdering her husband, and there's a lot of turns and twists in it, so you don't know until you get to the end. Like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
Quincy Jones
Wow.
came to that performance. It was sold.
Okay.
The place was packed, and Quincy tapped me. He said, "You wrote this?" I said, "Uh-huh."
Wow.
But anyway, it was presented again in November. But I just love writing. I become a different person. I get to, sometimes I would go to the park and just sit and watch people, and then I'd have my notebook and I just start writing and just sit and just let God talk to me. And a lot of people don't know that, I would, all through my life, most of my adult life, I suffered from depression, deep depression. And this was my way to release myself. And like I said, I really didn't have a lot of confidence growing up. I was the extrovert and Freda was the introvert. And then all of a sudden everything changed when she became 12 and I was 10. And that's when she discovered that she could sing. And she always thought she was an ugly duckling, but she wasn't. Because she brings it up now. We were younger. I think we had taken pictures and we were like 7 and 9. And when she looked at her picture and I told her, because she was light skinned with this reddish hair. And I said, "Girl, you look like vomit." And she never forgot that. And I said, "Well, why did you believe me?" Girl, I'm stupid. I said, "Then you were a cute little girl." So,
wow.
But anyway,
That's
she was
amazing.
shy, and she wouldn't even sing in front of our mother. She'd make Mama go in another room, or she'd hide behind the living room curtain or something, or go in the hallway and sing. But then when we started taking piano lessons from Mrs. Ruth Johnson on the east side of Detroit, one day Miss Johnson asked Freda to sing this song. And so Freda started singing. She said, "Well, Freda, you have a lovely voice." And she said, "I do." She said, "Yes." And all of a sudden the wheels turned. And Freda became the extrovert and I became the introvert.
Wow. We'd have never knew that one. We'd have never knew that one. Well, thank goodness for Miss Johnson.
That's right. That's right. Miss Ruth Johnson.
Yeah, thank goodness for Miss Johnson. Good question there, Drew. Good question. Let me move up to the professor.
Go ahead, Professor. How close, and I'm sure you were, but you were pretty close with Mary Wilson. Could you tell us about her?
About Mary?
About Mary? Wow.
Did you read her
book? Her two books.
She wrote 2 books.
A long time ago, I think. Is it My Life as a Supreme or something? I think I have that. Supreme Faith.
Uh-huh. In fact, there's a friend I just met, Steve Owens, who wants to do a 9 episodic TV series on the Supreme. So we've met a couple of times. So he asked me to reread Supreme Faith, which I did because it had been so long ago that I read it. And I recalled a lot of things. Mary was a lot of fun. Everybody knew her as a party girl, but she had some serious sides. But Mary was always a lot of fun, but she wanted everything just right when we hit the stage. And she loved being a Supreme and did it so well.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
did. We had a lot of laughs together.
Yes, she did. She was a sweetheart. And then with the work that the late Charlie Thomas, Bowser, John Wilson, trying to get the legislation to act on these pop-up groups, if you will. In one way, I'm sort of glad that maybe whoever decided in Motown that there were not going to be anybody else that could be the Supremes after the originals had disbanded or passed away, because I am so sure that you would have the same situation that's going on all over the world now. 3 and 4 groups of 5 groups of Delphonics, 4 and 5 groups of Blue Magic, 2 and 3 groups or 3 groups of stylistics. So I am so sure. And John Wilson at Sly Slick and the Wicked is fighting the same thing. There's another group. There's 2 or 3 groups of Temprees. So I am so sure that this same situation would have popped up with the Supremes. And then, you know, this person fighting. It's just ridiculous. It really, really, really is ridiculous. Can you speak anything about your thoughts or your feelings about these pop-up groups?
Oh, yes, because sometimes a lot of cases they take work away from us who are actually in the group, and because they'll work for less money, so the people will hire them, and a lot of times the audiences don't even know that they were never Supremes, and they're what we call fake groups. I hate to say fake, but that's what they are, unless they go as you know, just they say what they are. Don't say that they are.
Right.
Because it's not right. It's not right.
Right. Well, I agree with it. I know that John is real heavy into that. As like I said, so was Mary Wilson. So was Charlie Thomas of the Drifters before he passed away. Bowser and several of them. Frank Buffet, and there's quite a few of them that are together. And I actually throw my weight behind that as well. It's truly unfair. And one of the things that we do here is we would, because coming, for example, if they say the Supremes, let's just arbitrarily use the Supremes. Well, they would use Stop in the Name of Love. They would use Baby Love. Coming to Atlantic City, the Supremes, and they use them. But then when they get on stage, it's not the right people. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
You know, it's not the right people. And that's the thing that hurts so much, you know. That's the thing that's so unfair and hurts so much. I agree with John and anybody else who you know, who's going in that direction. Lamar, coming at you, bro. Well, yeah, let me get you on here. Go ahead, Lamar. Go ahead, Lamar.
My question to you, Ms. Payne, is, okay, here I go. My question is, if you was able to have a conference with the younger generation, what encouraging words would you give them?
Ooh, good question.
Don't give up on your dream. Another thing I would say, and I had, as Maxine Paul would say, maybe it's a little crass, but I would say, class, not ass. These young girls.
Whoa! Whoa! This is
I am
a family
so tired. Class, not ass.
Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense.
Some of these girls, I mean, yeah, because if you're selling your talent, you don't need to be showing all your butt and everything. And I mean, it's just not, maybe I'm old fashioned, but that's just the way I feel. You know,
you are old
especially
fashioned,
for
but
Black
there's
women.
nothing. You are old fashioned, but there's nothing wrong with being old fashioned because of the fact that that's how, and I'm saying that for everybody that's on this call, that's how we were raised. That's how we were raised. And there's nothing wrong with that being how we were raised. I agree with you, and I'm sure that I'm going to get the professor on in just a second, only because she's a female, and it's disgusting. It truly is disgusting.
It is.
Why? I think, Scherrie, you may know this. I know the professor does, and Andrew does, and some other people. There was a saying that my mom and my grandmom used to say. Now, wait a minute. Let me get it right here.
Okay.
Don't close the door after the cow is already outside.
I heard that.
The other one was, why pay for the milk after you already got it? Something like that. What are they both saying? Hold on, Professor.
You got the cow. Oh, yeah, right. Something like that. Yeah.
Hold on, Professor.
It is why buy the cow when you can get the milk free.
free. Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
My mother used
My
to
mother
say
used
that.
to say that. Yeah, it is terrible because if you're a singer and you can sing, you could be wrapped up in a sheet. And if people want it, they're buying the record because you can sing. All of that other stuff, all that other extra stuff is, I mean, if you don't have any talent, and then you got to go that way, you know. But I think it's horrible. I don't, and I mean, women pay to go to these concerts too. I don't want to go see that. It might be entertaining for the guys, but I don't want to see that.
No, If you got the talent, we want to hear you sing, not see your butt. Maybe the men do, but even some men probably would object. They want to see the talent. Dang. That's what they pay for. You're muted.
Sorry, you're right. I am. Jay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this playwriting of yours, a Lady in Waiting. What was your
Yes.
inspiration for that? Did you allow for alternative endings? And is there any thought of reprising that? Or can you give us the ending?
She was married. She was married to a very abusive man, Hamilton Monroe D. Fontaine, but you never see him because, of course, he's dead already. But I'm trying to remember what was my inspiration. A Lady in Waiting. Her husband horribly mistreated her, and so she said, "I hated my husband to the depths of deep," and
wow.
She said, "Finally, I prayed one day I would have my revenge." So I became a lady in waiting, waiting for my time to come. And it came. So, but that's just one of the lines in the play, yeah. But my other plays like To Protect and Serve, which I'm trying to get a budget analysis done for it now. That's about a Black woman who's waiting at a bus stop and the police unit stops. These two men, they were part of an elite police unit. And they stop her at the bus stop and ID, and she didn't have any because her car had been stolen a couple of weeks before and her purse was in it. But she said, "I have some mail with my address and name and address on it." But anyway, long story short, they make her get in the car and they abduct her, take her to one of the policemen's homes, and then more policemen come in, and you know what happened. They raped her over and over again, made her do drugs and so forth, and then dumped her out on the freeway in the middle of the night. And they threatened her and said, "If you ever tell anybody, we know who you are and where you live, we'll come back and kill you and your 3 children." So, and it's partly loosely based on a true story. One of my dear friends who was an attorney, it was her case. And so, So I went to the court hearings and everything, and it was powerful. I'm telling you, powerful. And I tried to get certain people interested in it, but they were scared. Even the person who was the head of the NAACP at that time, they were all scared, and the police here, and but it's called To Protect and Serve. And so I had the original ending, how it ended, where she ended up on the streets, just a drug addict, and her children put in foster care, and then the happy Hollywood ending, where she gets the wife of one of the policemen confesses that her husband told her the truth of what happened, but they're divorcing because she was a Christian. But then, so they're gonna get him. But anyway, then the Hollywood, the last ending, which is the one I like, the revenge ending, where the daughters of the victim, they wait a few years and they dress up as prostitutes, and one day the police car comes and it's the policeman who murdered did that to their mother. And I won't tell you what happened.
Wow.
But
That's
To Protect
that's
and Serve.
Great.
So I have 20. I have all kinds of different genres. I have one called Dancing with Demons, and it's about 5 women who are of menopause age and what they go through going through menopause and the different challenges in their life. It's called Dancing with Demons. And then I have The Glory of Young Men was the last one I just wrote about 7 young boys growing up in the streets of Los Angeles, and they go their separate ways. One becomes an attorney, another one, I think, a drug dealer, another one ends up in prison. They all go their different ways. But the glory of young men, they think it's all in brawn, being strong and being tough, and they don't think about why to be wise. That's the thing that you need to be wise.
Okay.
That's where your strength lies. But it's called The Glory of Young Men.
Okay.
So I even have a vampire movie, Pursuit of the Hunter, which is a vampire movie. Yeah.
Well, listen, Scherrie, while we have you on the air, why don't you share with us the type of Cheerios you eat to get these kind of impressions? Because we don't know nothing. I mean, I'd love to be able to think of stuff like this. How do you do that?
Well, I'm working on something now. I was trying to get back into my writing, and somebody else told me, no, pursue the 20 screenplays you already have. And but I was had my note, because I have notebooks that I write in first, longhand, then I start typing. But
right.
Let's see, Just Another Ordinary Day in Paradise, which is going to be a terrific horror movie. I mean, a real horror movie. And then Ramblings of a Mad Woman. And the opening scene is when you see this woman come out of her apartment or home, and she's butt naked, and she starts walking down the street, and cars are stopping, almost crashing into each other, and somebody jumps out with a coat to say flashback 2 years, and you'll find out why this woman got to the place where she is mentally, where she just said to heck with it, and she just walks out with no clothes on, which I've been seeing lately. People walking around naked, like, dang. And then another one, The Waiting Room. That's a stage play I'm going to write. The Waiting Room. And it's going to be, I think, 5 people, maybe 6. And they come to this waiting room, and there's another person who welcomes them in. And the name, it's going to be Welcome to the Waiting Room. But you don't find out to the end that they're all dead. They don't realize it.
Wow.
And the waiting room is like, 6 are going to go, or 5 are going to go this way to heaven, but 1's going to hell.
Wow.
What an
imagination for Supreme, huh? What an imagination for Supreme.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That's my alter ego.
I'm telling you, that is awesome. Kev, coming to you. Kev, go ahead, bro.
My other self. Because everybody thinks I'm so.
And it shows. It shows. Go ahead, Kev.
Hey, Scherrie, have you and Freda ever recorded together, or have you ever did a show together on stage?
We recorded. Well, H.B. Barnum had us record a couple of Christmas songs together, and it's on an album. And let's see, have we done anything else together? Not really. I think I've done background for her for some of her shows, and along with my daughter, Scherrie Payne Phillips, who is a vocal coach, outstanding vocal coach. Thelma Houston is one of her students, in fact.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So, but we've never done an actual. Wait a minute, did we do a show together? I'm trying to remember, because we've talked about it. I don't know. Maybe we should.
That's where I was getting ready to come in. Good question there, Kevin. What are, Scherrie, if I could, at this stage of your life, and all of the awards and things that you've done, which we're looking at behind you, and the awards and things that Freda has done, which are plastered all over her house, what plateau would you like to ascertain before you call it quits?
Screenwriter.
Okay.
A screenwriter, successful screenwriter. I want to see my screenplays produced. And I almost had a deal. 2 years ago, I think, Pursuit of the Hunter, and To Protect and Serve, got this agent, and he got a director, Peter Bassler, Swedish guy, and we picked a friend of mine, Peter Stormare, who was an actor, wonderful actor. I first saw him in Fargo years ago, but to be Lenario, the Dracula's assistant, rather. And but anyway, so we were getting ready, getting the budget analysis and everything. And so then they came back with, and I think they said, they were going to give Peter like 300,000, Peter Basser like 200, and it came down to it, and I was going to get 50,000 as the writer. So I asked several people who are in the business, who are directors and writers. I said, and I told them what it was. They said, "Oh, don't do that. They are screwing you." They said they're making a fool out of you. Do not accept that deal. And it was going to be with Sony. And so I went back, and in fact, the person who got me with this literary agent, he told me, he said, they are making a fool out of you. Do not accept that. I mean, because $50,000 for me, and I'm the writer, and I take taxes out of that. That's 45,000, and I tithe to my church, so that's 4,500. Then by the time I'm through, I don't have like $30-something thousand, a big hit, and all I got was $30,000. Had nothing about like residuals. I'll get it, and then finally they relented. We'll give you 2.5% to 5% of it if there are any residuals or blah. And then I said no, and it was a good thing I did, because 2 days later, that's when the actors went on strike. That big strike we had here at SAG-AFTRA.
Okay. Okay. God
so
works
I said,
in
Lord,
mysterious
I said,
ways.
you gave me all these screenplays. So I've been
God
praying. I said, Lord, you gave me all these ideas.
Right.
So your timing will be perfect. Someone will come along and want to do all my plays or whatever.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'd like to know more about your, and maybe we the music lovers here, LTD, will keep tabs on that. If you would keep me in the loop as to what's going on, what's happening with that, we certainly would support. And if you need extras, we're right here, babe. We're right here. You know what I mean? We're right here.
Okay.
All right, we got a little less than 10 minutes, so I'm going to run around the room, and I'll see you, Lamar. I'm coming to you right now. We're going to run around the room, and everybody's going to say their goodbyes and what have you. Lamar, coming at you right now. Go ahead, Mar. Mar, you got to unmute. There you go.
All right. It was wonderful speaking. It was wonderful speaking with you, Scherrie. And before we go off the air, I just ask you to sing a little song, please, and put my name in it. Thank you.
Wow, that's a heck of a request.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Dang. Sing. Let's see. No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. But I have learned that all you give is all you get. So give it all you've got. I drank my share, I had my fill. Even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down another road beyond the and do it all again. So here's to life in every joy it brings. Here's to life for dreamers and their dreams. Funny how the time just flies, how love can go from warm hellos to sad goodbyes and leave you with the memories you've memorized to keep your winters warm. And there's no yes in yesterday. Who knows what tomorrow brings? But as long as I'm still in this game, Sherry's gonna play for laughs, for life, for love. So here's to life in every joy it brings. Here's to life for dreamers and their dreams. So may all your storms be weathered and all that's good get better, better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you. You.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna tell you, Scherrie, he is never ever gonna be the same again. Never gonna be the same again. Let me move on. Never gonna be the
Thank you,
same.
Lamar.
Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead. We got a couple minutes. Go ahead, Kev.
Hey, Sherry, thanks. Spending time with us tonight. And you don't have to sing to me. Just show me to your place of residence, and you can sing to me in person.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, Jay, go ahead, my brother.
Thank you, Sherrie. It's been a very entertaining evening. I'm praying the best for you in your future endeavors. You know, I encourage you to stick with that writing. I think you're going to be successful at that, and would love to be at the world premiere of your first movie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys know too.
Please do. Please do.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Drew.
Ms. Payne, thank you so very much for joining us and sharing your stories. I, too, was very much interested in your screenplays. I love that you're venturing in that area, and I wish you the best. Quick question, though. Do you have any upcoming tours or new material forthcoming for us?
Yes, well, the group is going to Juneau, Alaska. That's August 10th, Juneau, Alaska. And then we're doing something here in North Hollywood on September 7th at the El Portal Theater. Let's see what else.
So you're still actively touring?
Yes.
Yes, it's just starting to pick up. Oh, thank God. Oh,
Hallelujah.
man.
Hallelujah.
Just starting to pick up. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so very much for sharing your stories.
Oh,
Professor, come
you're
on
welcome.
in, babe.
Sherrie, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. It has been wonderful, enlightening, entertaining. Girl, your voice is great. It is so hard to believe between you and your sister that your mom could not sing. But you guys got it. You got it. And I did look up that episode of Living Single when they do the Supremes is season 5.
Season 5.
Episode 6.
Let me write that down. Living Single. Season 5.
Yes, episode 6.
Okay. Thank you.
After you watch it, if you would call Ali and let him know, I would love to know what you think about that.
Okay.
And thank you so much. Okay. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. This has been wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. I can't hear you.
Sherrie, on behalf of Music Lovers
Yes.
LTD, and this is what we do every Friday night with somebody somewhere in the musical industry around the world. There's so many stories like what you shared and so many more that you can share that our listening audience and us, we get such a thrill and such a kick out of. Because as I always say, you can't buy an album and flip it over and read this kind of stuff or pull the insert out of a CD and read this. This is stuff that you live, that you know about, that you breathe, that you ate. And that's what makes it so important and so intimate to us as a whole. So again, I want to thank you. I wish you absolute best in your career. I will promise my best to stay in touch with you, and I'll send you that information when we get through.
Okay. And for all those young people out there, don't give up on your dreams. You keep dreaming. You never know when that dream might come true.
Very, very good information. Very, very good information. So again, I thank you so much, and God bless you. And we hope that all the best for you. And if there's anything that we can do here, all you got to do is just give us a holler and let us know. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Again, next week, tune in
Thank
at
you.
55, and we will have hopefully here on the stream with us will be Mr. Harry Elston, singer with Friends of Distinction. We will have that, and then I will run down the list of stuff that we're doing in the month of August, being my birthday month. Leos are in the house, baby. Leos are in the house. Okay, Leos are in the house. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. We love you all, Scherrie. We love you. Thank you so very much.
Love you too.
And of course,
God bless.
Jane Corn, if you're listening and if you're looking, we love you too from right here in Philadelphia.
Yes,
Take
we
care,
do.
everybody. Have a great evening. Ciao.
Okay. Ciao, Bella.
All right, we're done, gang.